I should be live now, so yeah, I think I can. Yeah, so I should probably wait for a few people to start watching. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing through Baba Yaga, and I guess this seems a bit of a bit of a weird time to be doing this, but I was actually really in the mood, and I guess the first thing I've got to do is go and fast travel to somewhere. But yeah, this is probably a bit of a weird time to be doing this, Saturday, but I was really in the mood, so I thought this one could be dedicated to all the people out there who are part of the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 grind out there. But because I guess it makes as much sense just doing it on a Saturday as any time, but I think the audio should be okay. I don't know if anyone is actually, let's see, it's doing that stupid YouTube thing where it says one person is watching, but I think that is actually myself, so. But yeah, I may as well get started. I just thought I would do this for a bit of fun, and yeah, as I said, the audio should be fine because I did a few recordings just now just to check. And yeah, so basically this is, without waiting for people to come or anything, this is an Extreme Survivor save, and what I actually did was, if there's somebody in here... I do actually quite like the voice acting of this game, but yeah, so I completed this game on my channel, just the gameplay. I'm not with the Illuminati. Okay.
What can I do? My grandfather snuck out of the village and left. I think he's headed for the Wicked Vale, where the witch Baba Yaga lives. I was trying to catch up with him when the invaders caught me. Before I was born, the witch killed my grandmother. Grandpa always talked about revenge, but I never thought he'd actually go through with it. There isn't much time, and I'm in no condition to go myself. We have to find him.
I don't know if there's any way to actually skip this, but the dialogue isn't too long anyway, so it should be alright. So yeah, basically what I did was I played through this game on Extreme Survivor on my first go, and I uploaded all the gameplay to my channel. And I think I have to go there, don't I? I have to admit, I do actually quite like this game. I mean, I did actually stream Tomb Raider the other day, and I still haven't completed that game. And the thing is, I thought, yeah, I'll just stream it and it should be good fun. But honestly, I got bored myself. It was so boring. I mean, my first reaction to that game was that it was actually quite good, but I just got so bored so quickly that I just thought I'd give up. But I played Rise before that game, and I actually quite like Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think it's actually a really good game. I mean, it is very Hollywoody, and it's definitely got... I mean, it is a little bit cinematic for a lot of people's taste, I'm sure, but there are lots of good things about it that I did enjoy, and it is... I think overall it's okay. The thing is, I'm really not a big fan of DLCs whatsoever. I mean, I would actually go as far as to say I hate DLCs, because I just don't play them. The last DLC I actually played was the Shivering Isles for Oblivion, which really kind of ages me, I think, but... And to be honest, like, as much as I enjoyed Oblivion back when I was like 14, I really didn't enjoy I actually really didn't enjoy the Shivering Isles. I definitely am part of the... I subscribe to the thinking that DLCs are just, you know, money-making ploys, and I think they're just totally fucking pointless. They are just so pointless, and it just doesn't feel like the original game, if you ask me. But yeah, I think there are lots of things about this game I did enjoy, definitely, and they generally who made this game again? I can't even remember, but basically I think this game was just such a huge improvement upon the game that came before it, Tomb Raider. And you know, so many of the tombs in the game before this, Tomb Raider, just felt so glitchy and just honestly so boring. And you know, I really don't like to be negative or anything like that, but it really was just so boring. It just wasn't my kind of thing whatsoever. But I did actually enjoy a lot of the, you know, I enjoyed the dialogue and the story of this game, and, you know, even the tombs and everything. And overall, this DLC isn't too bad. I've only, but the dialogue here is very boring, which is why I'm talking over it, because it is just so kind of pedestrian and, yeah. But yeah, overall I think the DLC for this game was okay, but and I think casually this takes about 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken. It does take a little bit of I like how she says don't go inside the old temple, but that is actually a really kind of a crucial thing to do. I don't even know if I can be bothered to actually collect all the things, but I guess I'll give it a go. But yeah, I really... there aren't many new games I play. I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider really is an anomaly in many ways for me, because... when I was actually playing through it, though, I did actually really enjoy the game, and there's lots of good things about it. I mean, what would I actually change if I had the choice? I think I would... I mean, when I get back to seeing all this stuff with all this, you know, extra details, you know, with the voice acting and everything like that, I just think, yeah, you know what, this game is actually okay, and it is quite good, I have to admit, it's not bad. And there's a lot of attention to detail. Fuck. And lots of glitchy kind of weird things that happen when you hit the floor, like flying in the air, but there was this really fucking weird glitch I came across. I actually uploaded it onto my channel probably like 3 or 4 months ago, where I don't even know what the fuck happened. It was just really weird, but God, I have to actually do all that again. I'll try to focus a bit more on the gameplay, I think. But yeah, basically, Extreme Survivor on this game, what I found was most of the game, in fact, the entirety of this game, was incredibly easy, I found, on Extreme Survivor even. But what I have to say is that the last parts of this game, and especially the final showdown with Constantine, I mean, the thing is, it wasn't designed for Extreme Survivor in the first place. That's what I kind of think. Can I actually skip that? But it wasn't designed for Extreme Survivor, which means most of the deaths in that final showdown are just so glitchy. They just, So what ends up happening all the time, basically, is you end up getting shot down by Constantine's chopper, even when you're hiding behind walls. And I mean, really the only way to actually beat that part is, I think, in two ways. I think the first way is just upgrading everything and kind of taking the RPG kind of approach to this game. But I think the second way, seriously, is just, you know, pure luck, honestly. And I wouldn't usually say that about games, but it was just... it's been a while since I was actually struggling with a game, especially a new game, since I don't really play many new games. But I was stuck on that part for literally like a month, and there was a point where I honestly gave up because it was just so difficult. And then and you know, I got so far. I did like 16 parts on Extreme Survivor to get up to that final part, and I just thought I'm gonna have to give up because it is literally not worth the frustration. But then in the end, I actually managed to do it, and it wasn't too bad in the end. And I mean, if you want to see how frustrating it is, go and watch it. But I challenge anyone to finish this game on Extreme Survivor, and especially without so many upgrades, because it's really that makes it easier. But yeah, I guess overall this game really reminded me of a kind of better version of Legends in many ways. And I really enjoyed Tomb Raider Legend quite a lot when I was, I think I was about 13 when I played that game. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was okay. I mean, what I can't stand is, I actually haven't done a lot of that. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of, I mean, I take everything with a pinch of salt these days. I don't really take too much too seriously, but, you know, having grown up with the first 3 Tomb Raider games, you know, I'm a huge fan. I'm not one of these, you know, die-hard fans, even though I play it quite a lot. But, I'm a huge fan, and you can't really create anything that is as good as the originals. That's just a given. I mean, look at what's happened recently with, you know, the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. I mean, I find it hard to actually... I'm a bit of a annoying person in many ways, because I don't really get in on hypes that much. I tend to get into things like, you know, maybe a year after everyone else, and because hype is very blinding towards what is actually good. It's kind of like nostalgia. It can really, you know, mess with your minds and make you see everything in a rose-colored way when it's not really that good. And it was exactly the same with, you know, Crash Bandicoot. You know, people, within the first few days, they were like, the trilogy is incredible. But then, you know, now people are starting to pick it apart and criticize it, and talk about the hitboxes and the glitches and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I tend to kind of get into things a little bit later and kind of experience it in my own way and kind of actually use my brain to sort of see what I truly think about something. And the typical thing happened with this game. People, especially fans of the classics, they totally dismissed this game before it. I mean, especially with Tomb Raider, but I would say that was kind of deserving. So after that game, people totally dismissed this game as just, you know, just a slightly better version of the game before it. And they didn't really look at the hard work that was put in by, what's her name? basically the person who did the voice acting for Lara. And you know, I did actually really enjoy the just the whole new approach. I think, I mean, let's look at it from like a perspective of what could actually work right now. I mean,
To show their respect.
how the fuck would you actually make a classic Tomb Raider in 2017? I just don't think it could actually work because people are too used to not using their brains, and I think people are so used to being kind of having their hands held throughout the entirety of a game, and they're so used to, you know, like look at this now, walking up to something and being told which buttons to press. I think it goes a lot deeper than video games. I think people are just a lot they're just a lot, I wouldn't say stupid, like more stupid. I think people are getting that way, but what I would say is people are getting too used to actually having their hands held through everything. And I mean everything. And I would say that video games are one of the main ways that that is happening. You know, people are just too used to seeing what buttons to press. They're too used to tutorials and that kind of thing. And obviously, this wasn't really a thing in the PS1 era. And, you know, I think of most of the Eidos catalog from the late 90s, you know, like Thief and Tomb Raider. And the reason why it was so good was because you had to use your brain, and you know, there were no radars, there were no, you know, I think the closest you got to a tutorial was games like I'm not actually too sure what to do here. I think I actually have to reel it in. But yeah, you got games like, what was it, was it Soul Reaver, I think it's called, something like that. You got like voices telling you what to do. And stuff like that. But certainly in the original Tomb Raider games, you never got that. And, you know, if you were to try to, you know, actually make a game without tutorials now, people would just, I don't think it would be very popular, you know. I just think it would, people would get very bored very quickly because people are so used to everything what I've just been talking about. But I think there's actually something here I have to, it's been a while since I've actually done this, but I seem to remember this was actually, I think I have to reel this one down. But yeah, this is actually a good example of, I think I have to drag that away. Not this part here, but I think this bit in a minute was slightly glitchy, I have to say. And there were quite a few temples in this game which were very glitchy, and as much as I like this game, there were lots of things which were just, you know, I look back now and I just think it could have been done better. Like, I think it's called the Aquifer Cavern, which was the cavern near where you go to battle. You know, where you have to hook up the boats and everything. And to this day, I still don't know how you actually, I don't know the legitimate way of actually going about actually completing that. I mean, the only way I actually managed to do it was, I'm pretty sure, just through just glitching my way through it, really. And this here kind of works. You have to kind of wait for the wind. Let's see if I can do it first try. No, you have to actually wait until the right moment, but I mean, it was just so glitchy, some of these tombs, you know. It was just I think I just let's see if I can get that back. I should be back now. The thing is, the game actually crashed. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm actually going to skip that temple altogether because that really isn't the main part of this game, I guess, of this DLC. But yeah, I think in terms of Tomb Raider 2, I'll just pause it and check if this is working properly. It should be okay. I've definitely got a lot of interest in doing more Tomb Raider 2 mainly because, and Tomb Raider 3 and the first game. And I would say I'll probably do some more, just some more games from the 90s, especially the late 90s, and maybe, yeah, some more Eidos catalog games. I think that would actually be a lot of fun. But I think I don't know what it is. I think just Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3 are just so much fun. And the thing that makes it so much fun is just it's like the perfect it is the perfect game to use stipulations in. There's something about it that just really works, and although the best thing I've done so far is just literally like all secrets and not a lot more than that. I think the best result I ever got in Tomb Raider 2 was all secrets and under 6 hours, which was what I just streamed. I mean, that was the best I've ever done. I've never really clearly I'm not hardcore enough to actually do more, but what I was actually planning on doing next would be something like you know, just things for fun. I mean, that's the whole point. You're not supposed to I wouldn't even say things with mics. I think I'll just probably focus on I guess I may as well do this temple. I may as well give it a go, but yeah, next I was planning on doing just like one save per level, all secrets, and then eventually, you know, no saves, all secrets, and you know, eventually get up to, you know, the typical kind of classic things like no loads, no mads, and I would say eventually, you know, I mean, it's really just down to your imagination and what you can actually do, because imagine how much, I mean, I don't think it's everyone's kind of cup of tea, definitely, but I think it would actually be quite a lot of fun to do something like, I don't know, like, no, I'll just take a look at the chat, there we go. Yeah, I thought it'd be really good fun to, like, do, no secrets and no pistols or something like that, which would be, I think that would be a lot of fun, just purely because obviously the secrets give you a lot of, you know, really the secrets, I mean, the first time, when you don't know where the secrets are, that gives you a lot of, that gives you an extra challenge, definitely, and that's what really makes the game a lot more fun, because you're really exploring and that kind of thing. But when you know where the secrets are, it doesn't really add any challenge to the game. And what I actually found, I mean, it's obvious, I'm not saying anything new here, but what happens is you get given a huge advantage because, fuck, I actually forgot to do that. I'm playing really badly, it's because I'm concentrating on talking. Yeah, basically it just gives you loads of ammunition by, of course, getting all the secrets and that kind of thing. So it's kind of, when you know where they are, it's not really an extra challenge. So you may as well, just to make it more difficult for the lack of ammunition, you may as well do no secrets. And I think that's actually going to be a lot of fun to do that. Fucking hell, do I really have to, I think I actually have to pull it with the bow. I apologize for my, my lack of mastery of this game. I think it's actually been a while since I played this. But you know, I just I do things on this channel purely for fun, you know, clearly. And but at the same time, I don't want to just be known as this person who just plays Tomb Raider, and I definitely want to play some different games eventually. I mean, I was having... Let's talk a little bit about Resident Evil 7, because I was having a lot of fun doing that. Fucking hell, I'm a moron. I need to actually pull that other one. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun playing Resident Evil 7. Although I think people were basically only interested in watching Tomb Raider. But, honestly, I played a bit more of the game whilst I wasn't on, whilst I wasn't doing gameplay or anything for the channel, basically. And everything up to the point of, like, the last bits I did, I really, truly enjoyed. But I just played this part the other day. And, it's the part where you have to get out of the traps with Lucas and everything. And honestly, I was just so bored. I mean, I was just kind of... I mean, it's just Saw. It truly is just Saw. That's all it is. I think I have to do something there. You know what, I think I'm actually going to give this up. I really can't be bothered to even do this. It's actually not that important. But, yeah, that room thing with, oh, do I have to? I think I have to pull this up, that's right. I'll get there, I promise. I will get there. But, yeah, that part in Resident Evil 7 with Lucas where you're figuring out all this stuff in a room, it was just so... I mean, maybe if I was 13 or 14, I would actually enjoy it. But, I mean, I felt like it was just... I would say the phrase is insulting my kind of intelligence, you know, big time, because it was just nothing new. It was just pure kind of Hollywood shit. It just so is. It's just so kind of... just... You know, I've seen it before. Why would I play this again? It's just... I think that should work like that. No, you have to wait for the wind, of course. I'm really revealing myself here. I'm really revealing how bad I am at this game. But it's been... This is casual. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm good at this game. It doesn't really matter anyway. You know, I did so well on those... Extreme Survivor parts. I really don't give a shit. You should just check those out. But yeah, I really I haven't actually completed Resident Evil 7 yet. And here we go, that should work okay. Because honestly, I just got so bored. It was just so boring. And just so cliche, and at this point, I really don't know if I'm actually going to complete that game, because it was just so kind of pedestrian. And, you know, why waste your time on something you're not enjoying? That's not going to work either, is it? Come on. There we go. I think I actually might do this time, so that's something. But yeah, I just thought I would stream this early because, I know that a lot of people won't probably be awake because they are enjoying their Saturday morning doing something else, but I just felt like streaming because it's the kind of thing you've got to do when you're in the mood. You can't really... That does look kind of cool. There are lots of details in this game I do actually really think are very inspired, I guess. It looks kind of like a... You know what it fucking looks like? It looks like some kind of music video to a death metal band, like Dimmu Borgir or something like that, but or what is it, Cradle of Filth, something like that. But yeah, I will I guess I'll talk a little bit about my my habits with planning, because you know, I try not to be an unreliable person, especially with like, you know, in real life, I try not to be an unreliable person with, you know, like meeting up with people and, you know, keeping plans and that sort of thing. I try my best, but, and, you know, I do like making plans for like the next few days, because it can actually be kind of handy to have a bit of a schedule for life and everything like that. Was there something there? No. But I find it very, very difficult to plan anything, you know, like a week in advance. And I realize this time and time again. I'm doing like a little expose of myself here. I find, you know, like just with that Tomb Raider thing the other day, I sort of planned the time and the place when I was actually going to be streaming that final part. And I got really into it by the time I was sort of like through the, you know, Barkang Monastery and all that, but I have to admit it did take a little bit of time to kind of get into it, and fucking hell. If I have to do that temple again, if I fail this, I'm gonna be so annoyed. But yeah, I find it so difficult sometimes to plan like a week ahead because, you know, like people will ask me, do you want to do this in a week's time? Do you want to go to like, I don't know, do you want to do anything, you know, like go for a run or, you know, go for a drink and that kind of thing. And honestly, I don't know. You know, how I'm basically taking after Carl Pilkington here, but you know, how the hell would I know what I'm gonna want to do in a week's time? It's just so difficult to kind of I find it very difficult to plan things. I know a lot of people are kind of, they live their life around time and schedules and, you know, that kind of thing, but I'm that's basically a very long-winded way of explaining why I actually streaming it this early, but all of this stuff here reminds me very much of Resident Evil 7 as well. It is very very similar, but for a DLC I did truly enjoy this quite a lot. I thought it was actually quite a I guess it is kind of inspired. I mean, it was overall it's not a bad extension to the game, and I think with a lot of things you've just got to take things as they are. You can't really I don't know, because on the one hand I feel, you know, why the hell would I play a lot of modern games, because they are just so boring sometimes and so they don't make you use your brain whatsoever, and you know, that kind of thing. And they come up with the controls on the screen and all of that jazz, but on the other hand, I think it's a real kind of shame to miss out on what is happening right now, because nobody wants to be the kind of person who's stuck in the past, like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, you know. My mind is in 82 or whatever it is, but my mind is in 1997. No, but yeah, nobody wants to live in the past. I think that's kind of sad actually to do that. So I think it is important to see what's happening this decade, or you can really miss out. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just check if the audio was okay for sure. So I think it is important to see what's happening this decade, or you can really miss out. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna... Yeah, it seems okay to me. I think... But yeah, you can really miss out on what's happening right now if you just focus on retro games and, you know, really run them into the ground and really kind of play them to death. But it is getting, you know, I really love this though, and I really love what was done in Croft Manor. I might play Blood Ties at some point, but Yeah, I think you've kind of, like I said, you've kind of got to take it with a pinch of salt because, yes, games weren't what they used to be, but at the same time, you've got to kind of see what is happening right now, and even though whilst I'm playing this now, it does seem quite pedestrian and everything, but even if you play, I think even if you play a game that came out today and you criticize it, I think that's better than being stuck in the past and saying, oh, things used to be so much better, you know, 10 or 20 years ago, because I think a lot of it is nostalgia. I mean, you can criticize things, of course, but we do tend to look at things with rose-colored glasses and that kind of thing. So yeah, let's see if we can do this. I thought this was actually quite cool, actually. I think it was a bit of a shame that we didn't get to actually fight. Fucking hell. I'm gonna try to step my game up here and actually try not to really play badly. You know, it's not too difficult when you actually give it a go, and it's certainly not as difficult as the part with Constantine at the end on Extreme Survivor, but yeah, I think overall, I think just I mean, what games am I actually interested in right now? That is a good question. I think, you know, the more and more I play this game, the more I guess bored of it I get. I mean, it's not an incredible game, and it doesn't really compare to the originals that well. But I do really like it. My biggest fear was that it was going to be overly, you know, cinematic and Hollywood, and it kind of is. But there's not too much of that, and there is a lot of gameplay still, and it's still very, it still is very interesting, I think. I don't think I can do that yet. But yeah, it's kind of funny how things change, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna play a lot more. What do I have to do here? Surely I can get a lot closer than that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to play a lot more of Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3 and the first one, and I'm definitely going to do a lot more kind of challenges and stipulations and that kind of thing, and I don't think I'm going to bore everyone too much with my voice. I think I kind of prefer just doing gameplay, but I really felt like including a mic this time, because this is my premiere in terms of including a mic for a stream, so the interesting thing is, I mean, you know, I'm not a huge gamer whatsoever, but I've never actually played Tomb Raider 4 and 5, and a lot of people crap on especially 5. I mean, a lot of people dislike 4 and 5, and I've played Legends. I loved Legend. I thought that was an okay game. I've never played Anniversary or Underworld though. And Underworld I think looks really good. I would love to play that, but I'm not honestly too interested in Anniversary. I don't really get the fuck. Yeah, I'm not really too interested in that game. And yeah, I guess there's actually going to be a I think there's actually going to be a new Tomb Raider soon as well, which should be interesting. Yeah, I got to look for the, I think I've got to, what's it called, reel it in. I think it's called something like, isn't it going to be called, I overheard one of my, I did that wrong. I overheard one of my viewers actually saying that it's going to be called something like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which will be interesting, definitely, but So I'll definitely give that a go when it comes out. I'm actually gonna make myself a drink now, so I'll be right back. And I think as time goes on, there should be some extra viewers, because I think it is still a little bit too early. But yeah, I'll be about. I'm gonna make myself a tea, so I'll only be about 2 minutes. So yeah, I'll be right back.
I've got to bring it lower.
Okay, I am back, and yeah, I just I decided to get some water instead. I thought that'd be quicker, but yeah. So I was talking about the new Tomb Raider game. I think do I have to do something here? I probably have to do something with this thing, although I think it has to be done when you've attached that, but. I tell you what else I enjoyed. I did actually really enjoy the track in the credits of Rise of the Tomb Raider as well. I think it's called something like... Fuck. There we go. Yeah, I think it's called something like Rise or something like that. But check it out. It's got a really cool... it's got some great female vocals, and... It's really well, Hi Vicky, I hope you're, yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that, that game. I think that would be, I have to admit, I'm kind of bored by all this, this dialogue. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting, game, because the first Tomb Raider was, as I said, I got really bored of the one that came out in 2013. But then this game was such a huge improvement. And I think it'll be even better when the next game comes out as well. But I definitely, yeah, that track, that song is really well produced. And I'll tell you what it kind of reminded me of. It reminded me of Red Dead Redemption with... I think the artist's name was Jose Gonzalez, who I think he was one of the artists. I think there were actually quite a few different artists who made music for that game, and Jose Gonzalez is also very famous for well, not really famous, but he has a video on YouTube of he did a cover of Heartbeats by The Knife. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of The Knife, and yeah, he did a great cover of that. But Yeah, we have to fast travel. But yeah, I think a lot of people do covers of that song. I mean, I'll go into town, like, I've heard buskers play that song over and over again in the town square and that kind of thing. You know, people really love to cover that song with an acoustic guitar. But yeah, check out Jose Gonzalez, Heartbeats, covered by The Knife. That was actually really good, a good track. And the name of the girl who actually did the track for Rise actually completely escapes me, but it'll come up if you type in Rise of the Tomb Raider credits song. It's actually a very kind of yeah, quite a dramatic song, and it's got a really nice kind of feeling to it. And you know, I love when games actually go the extra mile to actually produce tracks like that, and to give games an extra kind of meaning, if you like, because people tend to. Everyone likes a good song, and they're often very good, I find. I think they're often very, very good. And I actually don't know if I don't know if I actually said this or not. This whole stream is like a huge expose of myself, so hopefully it'll be to those who are actually up early enough watching this, thank you very much for watching. I know it was very early, but I really felt like doing it. But yeah, hopefully there'll be another track for the next game. I think that would be absolutely fantastic, because I'm a huge... Did I even pick up that fucking thing? I'm a huge fan of video game, you know, actual composed tracks and music. Like, I think I'm getting his name right with Jose Gonzalez, but yeah. Of course, that was the big disappointment this year, wasn't it? Red Dead Redemption getting put back, but yeah, I'm actually gonna have to re-listen to those, to the track that was made for this. But yeah, I didn't actually say it, but I never actually completed Tomb Raider. I guess it's not that shocking, because I think a lot of people are in the same boat for that. Oh, thanks for subbing, Vicky. That's very nice. Thank you very much. But yeah, I think a lot of people got bored of Tomb Raider, just like moi, and I found it very. I got up to the point where, you know, I'm still so sure there's something here I need to collect. I got up to the point where you've got to save Grim, and then he falls off or something, and I just got so bored. I don't mean to be like overly negative or anything, but I tried. You know, I really tried sitting down and really trying to, you know, just finish the game and just have enough patience to finish the game. And I am a very stubborn person when it comes to that kind of thing, and I really try to finish games. There aren't many games that I don't finish. Of course, I got pretty close with this game because of the irritations towards the end, but I think maybe I was a little bit late to the party of Tomb Raider 2013, and the party wasn't all too great anyway. It's kind of like a party that you're kind of really looking forward to, because there are people there who you've known for ages, but then you go to the party and you realize they've only got the drinks you don't like, and the people have moved on to things that you don't like as well, and it turns out to be very boring. I think that's the best way I can describe. Am I gonna die if I go down there? That's the best way I can describe Tomb Raider 2013, like a bad party. And Rise is like giving that same group of friends and party a second chance, and actually being kind of pleasantly surprised by it, because it is a huge improvement, and I think Crystal Dynamics did a great job with this game, definitely overall. But yeah, so what I'm actually supposed to be doing, just to explain right now, is I'm just collecting these. I think it's like pieces of rose or something. A Kiss from a Rose, isn't that the name of the song? By that guy in the 90s. So yeah, it does have a bit of that kind of survival kind of collecting going on. It feels a bit like Skyrim or Oblivion or something like that, but we're almost done actually. We've only got one more to go, so what was I going to say? I was going to say, yeah, that's what I was going to say and ramble on a little bit more about. Basically, yeah, Crystal Dynamics, basically. They did kind of, as much as they made Tomb Raider a very Hollywood-like, I mean, they're not the people who are choosing to make these games, you know, really Hollywood, but even though they did make the games a lot less edgy and dark and kind of, they stopped you from using your brain a lot, I do have to say that Crystal Dynamics, you kind of have to thank them for keeping the series alive, even in, you know, a form that a lot of people don't enjoy. You know, at least the series is still alive. I mean, it's kind of, you know, there are loads of people who have, I mean, if you see it like that, you know, really respectably, you know, dedicated so, like, their entire channels to, you know, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. I think of people, of course, like Crystal Fisher, who I watch, and, you know, he's done really well for himself recently. He's got a lot of subscribers, and, you know, he's dedicated so many years to these franchises, and I guess it's kind of come out good for him because he, of course, because of the Insane trilogy, which has kind of breathed a which has been a breath of fresh air into all these channels who focused on Spyro and Crash. But, you know, think about it, for, you know, literally since the year 2000, basically. I mean, a lot of people consider the year 2000 as the year of death for Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. I mean, I kind of enjoyed some of the PS2 games as well. But the year 2000 was... by the way, I've got to actually kill some deers over here. That's the next thing. Congratulations, you've killed a sentient being in the name of, in the words of Jazz from Peep Show, but fucking hell. Fuck. But yeah, yeah, since basically what I was saying, since the year 2000, I got a bit distracted there. There's been nothing new, basically, to talk about. And, you know, I guess that must have been very frustrating for a lot of these people. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I wouldn't really call myself, like I said before, a gamer, but I'm a really, really big fan of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. I would say more so Spyro because... no, I'm a big fan of both. I've not recently played Crash Bandicoot. By the way, this is kind of annoying, this part here, because you actually have to wait around for deer, so apologies if that takes a little bit of time, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of especially Year of the Dragon, Spyro 3. I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, I didn't want to do anything on YouTube about it at the minute because I do feel like, you know, what more is there to say, kind of, because, you know, people like Crystal Fisher and the people in that community, you know, they've already, you know, said everything there is to say. They've spent the last, like, what, probably decade talking the games to death and, you know, really dedicating themselves to it. So there's not really a lot of things that people... Fuck. I'm gonna just ignore these wolves because they are not too great to fight on Extreme Survivor, but but yeah, I think basically my point was yeah, Tomb Raider has never died basically, and that's I think that's a good thing. And there's always been a new kind of so far there have been 2 reboots. There's a fucking deer. Although I have to be really careful not to. I guess I should probably. Fuck. There we go. Yeah, there have been 2 reboots to a series, and you know, when you really think about it, there haven't been. What other series can you think of where there's been 2 reboots? I mean, I guess. And also, the games that have been made for Tomb Raider have actually been quite good. They've not been too bad, in my eyes and in many people's eyes. I think a lot of people are just glad that it's still alive and kicking and that kind of thing, and people aren't too concerned about, you know, really reliving the feeling of the originals, which I think, you know, like I've already said, I think it's kind of sad anyway. Come on, I don't want to... There we go. Yeah, I think it's kind of sad, like I said, to be stuck in the past with anything, and...
That chemical from Grandmother's notes? Phenothiazine. I think I found it. They stored it in the lower levels of the copper mill where they used it to deal with the termites in the summer.
Oh yeah, of course I have to go back here, yeah. I have to say, I did a lot, we didn't have to wait too long for the deer, so that's okay. I saved you from some... mediocre gameplay there. No, this whole thing is mediocre, I have to admit, but I'm having fun, isn't that the main thing? Yeah, so we have to go over here. I think, yeah, like I said, I think it takes about 2 hours casually to complete this. I think we're going to get ambushed here, by the way, to anyone who has never seen this, although perhaps not. But, yeah, let's go over here. There are lots of things. I mean, the one thing I really like about Tomb Raider, I think one of the main things I liked was that it was a British game. You know, that was one thing that can never be repeated with Crystal Dynamics, because, you know, Core Design clearly made British games, British anything, have a special feeling. And explosives. Oh yeah, I have to use the and that's what really gave it that kind of the feeling and the kind of quirky, different feeling in it of you know, in Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3. I really loved how there were always these subtle hints. Well, not really that subtle, but I loved how there were these kind of how Core Design were kind of pointing towards the Illuminati with the Flaminera and that kind of thing, because it was just I think it was done in a really tasteful way, and I guess the irony is, to anyone who doesn't know, am I even in the right place? I don't think I am. I think I've got to go there. Yeah, no, there's of course the first Tomb Raider film was based around the actual in the film's depiction of the Illuminati, which is basically like Flaminera, you know, Italians and people high up in Venice gathered around, you know, epic tables and coming together to do these to practice these cult-like ceremonies and things like that. And although the irony is, apparently, I mean, it's not something anyone should take seriously whatsoever, because I think, you know, what you don't know about can't harm you, and also, but what I like to say is what you don't take seriously can't harm you, seriously. But the irony is that supposedly, to all the conspiracy theorists out there, Angelina Jolie is part of the Hollywood elite and part of the of that group and that organization herself. And there are people who said, I mean, I don't agree with these people necessarily. I question things, but I just find I like to repeat things just that other people have said, just because I find it kind of fascinating. But there are people who said that she's been in these kind of weird sexual ceremonies with the Illuminati and that kind of thing. Whether it's true or not, that's a different matter. But does it really matter anyway? I've just realized I have to go up here, I think. Not that way, you idiots. But I tell you what would actually be really what I would find a big help, even though I tend to just play what I want to play.
I'm mixing the ingredients now. Any word on that patrol?
I would find it very
They're on the move.
I would find it very interesting
Oh no.
if people told me what they wanted to actually see. In terms of, yeah, just in terms of what would you like to see me play in things, because even though I'm going to just be playing the games I love and I'm used to and stuff like that, I don't want to just fucking hell. Yeah, I don't want to just be the person who just plays Tomb Raider games and that kind of thing. And I think I should probably use that pistol. Yeah, no, I think that would be a lot more. It's good to hear lots of different perspectives, because obviously if you only listen to your own perspective, you just tend to play the same old games over and over, and you tend to, I guess, just repeat the same thing. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll actually go to the I'll go to the base camp and fast travel. But yeah, there'll definitely be a lot more. I keep forgetting I can run in this game. I've been playing too much of the of Tomb Raider 13. But there'll definitely be a lot more Tomb Raider 2, because that game, with stipulations that is, because that game is just very entertaining, and I think there'll be more of a focus on retro games, definitely, because I'm personally, one thing I always like to think about is just think about how many games have been released that are considered retro now that we've never actually played. There are so many titles I've never even touched, which are, you know, incredible games. So I guess it really comes down to how imaginative you are as a person. But this is pretty much the halfway points for Baba Yaga, to anyone who's interested. So I think what I'll do, I think, yeah, I have to fast travel here. Here, that's right. But yeah, no, I always found Core Design quite interesting, because they weren't a huge company. They were, I mean, fair enough, Eidos Interactive was a huge publisher of, you know, darker, more serious games and things in the late 90s, and, you know, even today. But I think their heyday was back then. But, I mean, Core Design were just this, you know, fairly small team in England, you know, in Derby. Fucking Derbyshire. I mean, to anyone who isn't from the UK, who are maybe from the US, I know I've got quite a few people watching from the US, which is of course great. Derby and Derbyshire, I mean, my grandfather actually comes from Derbyshire, and it is just like, it's a very natural place. There's just lots of, it's actually where the Peak District is, which is, to anyone who doesn't know, it's where the, it's where you can find lots of valleys and dales, and, I mean, I guess you could call it English versions of mountains. There's a famous dale called Mantor or something like that, which I've been up. And there are lots of castles and things, and it's a very kind of, it's not very built up at all. And so, and then Derby, the actual town where core design was based, to all those gaming historians out there. I've never actually been to Derby, but it has a university in it, so it's a university town at least. So it's big enough. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not too small. And then core design was based in this incredible... I've never seen it with my own eyes, of course, but it was based in this incredible kind of like mini mansion in Derby, which was just so British. And so you can imagine the kind of vibe, for lack of a better word, or kind of atmosphere at that place. It must have been... you can really see how the original games were born, I guess you could say, and that kind of thing. Because they definitely had a certain... I would say the greatest thing about the original Tomb Raiders was the atmosphere and the vibe overall. And the ambience and the ambient music and lack of things. I highly doubt he's watching this at the minute, but I was pointed in the direction of this video by Johnny Natrium, of course. Check out his channel, he's a cool guy. He pointed me in the direction of this video by this, I think he was an Australian. He was talking about the original Thief games, and by the way, this whole thing here is so glitchy. I still don't know to this day how I did it, so have a little bit of patience for this, because this could be, it could take a second, but yeah, anyway, so he was talking about the, not Johnny, but this Australian guy, I think. He was talking about the Thief games compared to the Thief game of 2014, which I actually did like. I've not completed it, but once again, I took it with a pinch of salt and that kind of thing, but basically, he was talking about the subtlety of the details in Thief, the original, and how the lack of things really is the addition of things, you know, less is more, as people say. It doesn't just go for makeup goals, but I don't know why I said that, but anyway, I got sidetracked. Yeah, but it was really the case, because when you know, the lack of radars, I mean, it's kind of cool how this game doesn't have a radar. I'm not actually sure if it has one that you can turn on. I've never actually tried, but yeah, just the lack of HUDs and radars and that kind of thing really adds a lot more, and it really allows you to really immerse in the game and use your brain, and you're exploring things like you might explore it in real life, and it's not gamey, and it lacks that kind of feeling of gaminess, if you like, and that kind of thing. I don't know if I've actually got to do that. I probably do. You know, I think what I have to do is... Let's try this out anyway. I just have to move my leg. It's actually going to sleep. So this game isn't actually too bad in a lot of ways, because I think at the very least it's okay to like have an ammo count. I think that would be going quite far to not include ammunition and that kind of thing. But there are lots of great ways you can of course excuse me, you can of course turn off the HUDs and that kind of thing in games like San Andreas, and I saw a great I'm not really the kind of person to watch speedruns at all, but for a change I did watch this San Andreas speedrun just for the nostalgia of an American playing through San Andreas with I really have no idea what I'm doing here. I think what I might have to do is... Does that snap? Yeah, it goes back like that, doesn't it? But he was playing through San Andreas without the as a speedrun, without the HUD and without anything on screen to guide you in a kind of gamey way. And it was actually the most entertaining thing I've seen for a while, actually. It was actually truly quite interesting, I have to say. But then the point that this Australian was making, that, yeah, you can turn off the HUD like a sneaky man, or woman, depending on who you are, but then the game itself isn't actually designed in that way, so you get a kind of... The game doesn't feel... It just doesn't feel as legitimate as how it might feel with these games from the late 90s, like Thief and like Tomb Raider and that kind of thing. So it's a very interesting debate overall. I definitely, you know, I actually have no idea how I'm supposed to do this. I think... Let's have a look at this. I think I have to do something here. I seem to remember what happened with this, though. I did truly glitch my way up with this this particular puzzle, because there were just so many things in this game. Not all of the teams. I certainly enjoyed a lot of the teams. Like, I think back to you know, like the minecart one especially. I thought that was incredible. And so what if I tried this? But then, like I said, you know, like with the aquifer cavern and all that, there just was a lack of kind of solidity, you could say, in those yeah, so that holds it there, so that's what I've got to do. That's simple enough. But yeah, there was a feeling of like a lack of kind of polish or solidity in a lot of the mainly the aquifer cavern with the boats during the battle sequence when you first get to the Geo Valley. And there were a few others, I mean, but I really loved the atmosphere and the art style of a lot of the tombs and crypts of this game. I loved the final one as well. Not the one we just did, I count that as DLC, but the one with the one in the Path of the Deathless, I thought that was incredible. I really did. But yeah, that's what we have to do. We have to wheel this up, and then we have to... I really can't remember how to do this. I think we have to attach it to something, but there's something around here that we have to... Isn't there? Something around here. But yeah, for fans of details and that kind of thing, like with voice acting and everything, I thought this game did that kind of thing really well, and certainly wasn't I thought it was just done really well, definitely. I seem to think what I've got to do is run down... I'm not going to make it now, but I think... See, this is what makes it feel so glitchy. I think I've got to get up here somehow. By... It's not too difficult, I'll get it sorted out. I mean, I'm actually doing it a lot. I think it will take about just under 2 hours, so I think we've only got like about half an hour left, to anyone who's wondering, but... Yeah, so if I let go... Fuck. Let's just jump down here, see what I can do. I seem to think I've got to... I don't know if this will work. No, it's not working. Yeah, that doesn't work. What I've got to do is get on there. Have some patience. I'll have it done in a minute. But yeah, talking about what I was talking about earlier with video game tracks, I mean, that is... I wish more... I just truly wish that more games did that, because it really makes the games feel less... There's something about it that I just love. You know, adding tracks to games, like with Jose Gonzalez and all that. I know what I have to do now. I just realized what I had to do. What I have to do is jump down here and cut this wire here. Um, but yeah, I mean, what does, I guess overall, I mean, you know, we're coming to the end of a decade here. I mean, I don't think we should take, you know, years that seriously. I don't like to, can't I get up there? Seriously, come on. Oh yeah, I have to do it there, of course. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the 2010s, and I guess you could say this decade has had a kind of style of its own in some ways. Like, I think there have been lots of interesting... I mean, one of my biggest passions, probably more so than some video games, is music, and I'm a musician myself, and I'm a vocalist. At some point I will probably create like a band camp or something. I'm really into production and that kind of thing. But I guess this decade has had some very interesting you know, songs and everything. I think of like Death Grips, for example. I mean, people meme Death Grips, and that's really why they are so that's a reason for their popularity, definitely, because they are so kind of, you know, like people have memed them with like Crash Bandicoots and everything like that, and they are actually quite... And Alex Jones, of course, they there's something humorous about them because they are so intense. And yeah, I think I was timed doing that, so I have to do that again. But I think Death Grips are one of those bands that will be very defining of this decade in like 10 or 20 years. People will definitely think back and they'll call it like, oh yeah, the 2010 punk Death Grips movement. That was really prevalent around that era, and people will be talking about it like that. And there are a few bands like that, and the way I see it, in terms of video games, though, I think most people will be talking about Dark Souls. Fuck, I missed it. People will definitely be talking about Dark Souls, I would say that. And people will definitely be talking about... I've got it this time, guys. It'll be alright. It's not timed whatsoever. I have to actually just pause it like that. Then do this. Finally figured it out. But I would say people in a decade to 20 years, whatever that means, people will be talking about not Death Grips as well, but I was going to say Dark Souls, and I would say people will talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider, definitely, in terms of Tomb Raider as a series. What else? People will be talking about the Spyro remake that's going to be made. I haven't really talked a lot about that, but let's talk about that a little bit as a... Fuck. I can't I'm really exposing myself here. I really do apologize to anyone watching. I've got to obviously let it go a little bit, like so. It has to be a tiny smidgen higher like that. Although that is too much now. I really do apologize. This is really just thrilling gameplay, am I right? But yeah, Dark Souls will be a big definitely a big one, I would say. No, if I do it now, I should be alright. I should be able to make that. But yeah, do I really care about the Spyro remake, and do I think that is going to be made? As a person who, I mean, I really liked, you know, I grew up on Crash Bandicoot before I got into PC games and everything. And, you know, fuck, I am really truly doing such a bad job here. It's actually funny. I hope everyone's laughing along, but I don't own a PS4, and I mean, I always used to think, yeah, I was such a big fan of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, but then I guess with things like that, you have to put your money where your mouth is, and I just so far haven't. Because I just haven't been it. I don't own a PS4, and I kind of refuse to. There's something about it which I'm really happy for the people who are truly fans of the series and everything, and I'm really glad it was overall a success, but I don't know, there was something fishy about it which I just didn't feel like doing. I just didn't feel like truly actually waking up one day and going out and buying a PS4 and buying the Insane Trilogy, and especially because there are barely any PS4 games I am truly interested in that on PC. So, hey, we did it, that's good. But anyway, but yeah, basically the conclusion of that little tale is that I didn't put my money where my mouth is, and
The witches kept the lift running all this time.
so,
She even made a few improvements, but
and I think it's probably a game I'll probably play in like 5 years, the Insane Trilogy that is, but
I'd like to come back down.
I think with Spyro, completely keeping out my own opinions, because in all honesty, I mean, I probably wouldn't go out and buy a console just to play a Spyro remake, but I think everyone else will, and I think that's going to be the next big thing, a Spyro, you know, HD trilogy, and oh yeah, I have to do that, don't I? But yeah, let's not forget the original games. I think, you know, we've already got the games. It's not like the games weren't made. You don't really need a trilogy, even though it is good for a lot of things, but in all honesty, I love Spyro 1, 2, and 3, but for me personally, the only Spyro I think I would truly be interested in playing as a remake would be Spyro 3. I mean, I would be interested in seeing Spyro 1 kind of in a reimagined way, kind of like, because I think the first Crash game was so great, being remade because it wasn't as polished as the other two, so Spyro 1 would be very interested. I would be very interested in seeing that. But Spyro 3 had a very ethereal kind of feeling, I thought. And the music was very electronic and very interesting and not as kiddie. Like, I guess. It was between, I would say, between a kid's game and an adult game. And I love the variety. It's just got the perfect balance with all the different characters and the music. You know, let's not forget the mighty Stuart Copeland that composed the tracks for that game, who was the he's one of the best, one of my favorite drummers of all time. Of course, he was the drummer in The Police, and basically the person who really kicked Sting up the arse to get him to form a band. The Police, of course, and I love The Police. Who doesn't love a bit of Sting? But when I actually found out, you know, having enjoyed the Spyro games, because they clearly stood out as a very different sound to most video game music, and it was very clear that there was something going on with Spyro that wasn't going on with other games, especially Spyro 3. When I actually found out it was Stuart Copeland who composed the Spyro music, I honestly shat. I was just like, I didn't really, by the way, but I can't really explain just how shocked I was. I was just in awe. I could not believe it. I was just like, I was on Google Images like probably 3 years ago thinking, so he's the guy, he's the fucking drummer from The Police. Yet I mean, I can't put it into words how shocked I was. And then eventually you'll find that documentary, that mini documentary that had Stuart Copeland where he's composing the music for Spyro, and my mind was just, my eyes are taking in visual input, but I don't believe what I'm seeing. It was just, I just couldn't believe it, because The Police were kind of, yeah, they were very commercial, but they were kind of edgy, and they were a huge band and everything. And then to see Stuart Copeland composing for a 90s video game for kids. It's just unreal. Like, I was in awe, and then for a brief moment he became my hero. But in short, Spyro 3 is the game I would love to play. And Spyro 3 was just the game I enjoyed the most as a kid, and it was definitely the game I played probably most as a kid. Even though I didn't know Stuart fucking Copeland was behind the music. I mean, it's just unreal. It really is. I mean, he's really a great drummer. I mean, he's really, I wouldn't say he's underrated. I think he gets the credit he deserves. But he's one of the drummers that kind of, I guess in a way you could say he kind of robbed the reggae, the black reggae thing, and turned it into it's basically white man's reggae. Which, you know, to some people might seem like a bit of a, maybe even a bad thing, but not at all. You shouldn't take it that seriously. And, you know, he's an incredible drummer. But, yeah, I just, for me personally, I can't believe I didn't put two and two together. I mean, why would you, I guess? Because I was a huge fan of the Police. A huge fan of the Police. I loved, I don't know which album I enjoy the most. I mean, it's really difficult to say. I like Don't Stand So Close to Me, even though it is kind of a dark topic, you know. You can look that up, the meaning of that, if you didn't get it. I think most people get it. Don't Stand So Close to Me, it's a great song. And, yeah, we've actually made it to the end here, so, and this ending is really the best thing about the DLC, I would say. But, yeah, Man in a Suitcase, Don't Stand So Close to Me, Invisible Sun, of course, that's a great song that Sting is he's a very commercial artist, especially back in the 80s, because he was so... I don't know what it was like in the US, but I think all over the world, you know, especially in the UK, he was just marketed as this sex god, basically. So he's got that... He's definitely not that edgy or anything like that and underground, but he's an iconic singer, and definitely a singer I enjoy. I don't know if the... I'm really failing at this. I'm just gonna check the audio is okay again, just quickly, because there is a... I don't know if the... I'm really failing at this. I'm just gonna check the audio is okay again, just quickly, because there is a... I don't know if... Yeah, that seems okay to me. I think it's gonna be alright. I didn't actually realize I was shouting quite so much. I was just... the problem is... the main problem is the room I'm in is quite echoey, I guess. It's got this kind of... really tinny sound, I guess, which could be better. I mean, it's definitely not the kind of room... I mean, I could soundproof it, but I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate that, to be honest. But yeah, so we have to do it now. That's when we have to do it. Did that work at all? No, there has to be another way. I think that I have to... But yeah, I'm sure as I do more streams, I'll get used to how, like, just being better at it. I didn't actually realize I was speaking quite so loud. But yeah, I think what we have to do, it's been a while. Oh yeah, of course we get the crank there. So yeah, what I have to do is, I think this should work. But I may have to wait for her to get a bit closer. Maybe this will work okay. Oh yeah, we have to shoot at her, of course, yeah. Let's do that now. That's how you do it. Okay, so that's okay. I think the main reason it took me so long the first time was because I didn't actually realize that. But to anyone who doesn't know, this is Baba Yaga, the very person, which, if you haven't read the description, is basically a it's based on a Russian folktale. Baba Yaga is basically a very similar to Hansel and Gretel in terms of the Baba Yaga would kind of be like the old lady in Hansel and Gretel. Not entirely, it's not entirely like that, but that's the closest kind of, I guess you could say, Germanic. I failed though. The closest Germanic version of it, but there's a tale of Baba Yaga living in a forest on her own in a hut made of is that not working? Yeah, I have to use the other one, of course. Yeah, I forgot that. But yeah, the tale is that she lives in a house with legs, and that she's an old lady, which I think there are tales where she helps people, but also tales where she is that gonna, yeah, that should work, okay. Where she kind of takes children or something like that. It's definitely worth researching if you're the kind of person who likes to learn about details like that. But yeah, we're coming to the end of this now. I mean, it does, I thought this whole arena was really well done. I mean, this is really what you're buying the DLC for. And it basically, the whole place becomes very submerged, and yeah, towards the end, all of this gets really, it literally gets submerged, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's kind of, it's not too difficult. I mean, when you think about it, the boss is, even in the... Hey, it's Danny Haverty, the Irish guy. I remember you. Thanks for watching, man. What have you actually said, actually? Oh, just hi, yeah. I actually couldn't see the chat for a minute, so I had to just look across there. But yeah, thanks for watching, man. I know it's quite early for the UK, but yeah, my thinking was kind of like it would work on a Saturday because so many people are part of the... They're parts of the grind, my man. They're parts of the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday thing. And so I guessed on a Saturday it wouldn't really be as much of a problem. Depending on if people drank too much last night. Which I don't really do. I don't really drink alcohol. I had I tell you what I do like, because my granddad is actually Irish himself. There's a bit of trivia for you. And one of the family things I kind of carried on was drinking a Guinness, or like the most I'll drink is like 2 Guinness. Just now and then, just as like a little thing, but I'm not really I'm not the alcohol kind of person, really. I'm not really into that, but I'm guessing a lot of people probably, I don't know. I've had at least a few people are watching, that's good enough for me. But yeah, if you've not seen this before, basically what you've got to do is basically exactly not what I'm doing, because I'm definitely making this a lot more long-winded than it needs to be. But basically we've got to ease her in, you know, we've got to reel her in and then pull this. I had a stack of beer yesterday. Bad news it is, bro. Well, rather you than me, Danny. Rather you than me, my man. But if you enjoy it, just go for it. That's pretty good that you're up this early then. If you had a stack of beer. Okay, so now what we've done is basically this gets we can't use this one again because we used it once, I think. Didn't we? Let's give it another go. That's not how you do it. I better just heal myself. But yeah, I mean, what I should do, no, actually what I shouldn't do is show off the final part with Constantine on Extreme Survivor. That was just, I'm sure I lost some hair over that. No, not really. It just made me, yeah, I can't use that one again. But basically it's the most probably, I'm a very calm and patient person, but that's probably the most frustrated I've ever been in my life, and that's over living with my girlfriend. Wink wink, nudge nudge. No, I actually really, she's a great lass. She's not here at the minute, she's actually at work, but hence the early morning streaming. But what I was going to say was, yeah, basically that was just very frustrating, and hangover is bad, but you'll manage. Danny, you're an absolute trooper, my man. An absolute trooper. But yeah, I do like a Guinness. I mean, I got through most of my, I used to drink more when I was a teenager. Definitely. But then I got into my health phase, which would make a lot of people laugh, but I'm very proud of it. But I had a Guinness I had 2 Guinness this week actually with my brother, because he came over. And I hadn't seen him for a very, very long time, and we had a good time. But yeah, what I was going to say was how even the bosses in the... What the fuck am I supposed to be doing here? I actually have no clue. But yeah, the bosses in the original Tomb Raiders, like 1, 2, and 3, even they were kind of... No, I guess I take it back. I mean, it's mainly the final bosses that were interesting. That's not going to work, is it? But I guess even the dragon in Tomb Raider 2, which, excuse me. If you haven't seen that, which I'm sure everyone has, but if you've not seen that, I did a stream of it, and you can just skip to the end. I did it on Thursday. Even the dragon is very epic, and you know the design of it is incredible and everything. But even that did feel like a little bit too easy, because you literally just avoid it whilst shooting and then you just pull out the dagger, which does, it's kind of clever in a way, but it did feel a little bit have I got to... Ah, there we go, that's it. Yeah, so, yeah, it was kind of easy, but, even though the bosses on Tomb Raider were kind of easy, they still had this very epic feeling, especially the boss in Tomb Raider 3. I mean, that boss is truly epic, the spider alien thing. But my point was, even in the original games, they did feel a little bit too easy, I guess. So... I used to drink Guinness until I got a bad pint. Never drank it. Yeah, I've heard about that before, people getting bad pints. I mean, I don't know whether it's anything to do with solely Guinness. I'm not going to make that, am I? I mean, I'm guessing it could happen. I'm guessing it could happen with any beer, but I've heard it about Guinness quite a bit. I'm Irish and I don't like alcohol at all. Vicky, let me tell you, you're the anomaly. Drink, as Father Jack says. No, I think it's totally okay not to drink. I think it's very a very noble thing. I think it's yeah, is that bagpipes to do with the brewing process or something like that? I'm making this so long-winded just because I'm talking about Guinness, but I'm having fun. But yeah, good for you. I mean, definitely alcohol isn't for everyone. My biggest addiction up until recently, up until I faced my addiction, was heroin. No, I'm only kidding. I've never done drugs. I was coffee, so yeah, technically I have done drugs, but I used to drink like a coffee or two a day, but I only have like 2 a week now, because it was making me go crazy. Literally crazy. I would just walk outdoors, you know, just rambling crazy things, and looking at my watch a lot, and you know, I'm trying to be funny here, but I'm failing. Basically, it was just making me feel a bit hyper, and I thought maybe it's the coffee, so I stopped having as much. But the reason why I'm talking quite a lot right now is because I had one this morning, and it's basically like crack now because I barely have any caffeine. Fuck, that's gonna fail. Oh, it already fails. But yeah, since I don't have caffeine anymore, it definitely it definitely has a bigger effect. Yeah, I don't blame you, Danny. Go and get yourself a coffee. It's yeah, it's not a bad thing. So yeah, if I shoot at this thing here and then jump down here, it should be alright. Stop firing. Okay, there we go. This is a speed run, can you tell? No, it's probably the the farthest from a speedrun you'd ever in a million years get, I think. I tell you what I do like about Baba Yaga. I do like the fact that I love the ending with how the grandmother is kind of saved and she's kind of put under a kind of, what is it people say? Kind of like a hex or a spell. But yeah, when I used to drink coffee, I would basically go like, I would basically be like going as crazy as this one, this lady here. I would just wake up and feel like such a groggy mess. And yeah, it wasn't any fun. I used to just I basically couldn't function until I had a coffee, but yeah, it's not so bad. I think just drinking it now and then is better, but let's see here. Yeah, so I have to climb up at this point. I'm gonna try and drag it out for as long as I can. I think it'll... I think people are still waking up from there. Because it's Saturday morning and stuff like that. But I just got up and I was just so in the mood to do this. Let's see. Can I not go through here? No. I don't know what else I could do after this. I could probably do something else, like just to make it a bit longer. I don't know how interesting. I mean, we'll see what I can do. I might not just end after this. We shall see, because that's not really working, is it? No, there's something I have to do here, but I'm not I'm basically gorming out. Like this game kind of wants me to do because it is so... Fuck. They definitely give you enough ammunition, definitely, even for Extreme Survivor. So it's definitely not difficult. I did actually really enjoy this game though, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's the... I was kind of complaining about it earlier being a bit negative. I mean, basically just criticizing it, but the general kind of feeling I got was that I honestly did enjoy this game. It is a good game. I can't make that. I have to wait for... I mean, I do think it's kind of unreal how it literally shows you where you're supposed to jump by triggering the instincts and everything. I think that was kind of a bit... You know, you barely have to use your brain whatsoever. But, yeah, to people who are more interested in seeing... I probably could have actually jumped there. I was rearranging my seat. To the people who are more interested in watching the classic Tomb Raiders and stuff, my plan actually is sometime this week. I might not actually do it with a mic. I mean, we'll see. I think I'll just focus on the gameplay, but I'll be playing through Tomb Raider 2. Before I do like no saves or anything, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be going through it with just one save per level, like a little baby at the game. Like I said before, I'm not too I don't claim to be like an excellent gamer or anything like that. I'm just a person who enjoys the games, and it pretty much ends there. I don't think there's much to analyze, but I'll be going through. I think I'll go through Tomb Raider 2 with just with one save per level, and I think what I'll keep doing is just I mean, I won't run it into the ground or anything and make it boring, but I'll eventually like do no saves throughout the entire game, and then eventually like no loads, no mads, and that kind of thing. And the next plan as well is to do Tomb Raider 3 on stream, probably with a mic, because I don't actually know that game as well as Tomb Raider 2, so I'd definitely be working out puzzles and at least a little bit, not like for hours upon hours, but I think this is it. I think this is actually the final bit. But yeah, I mean, it'll be good fun to play Tomb Raider 3 as well. The very first Tomb Raider game I ever played, I'll have you know. Back when I think I was 6. In the year 2000, when I was... yeah, 6, I think.
Stop. No more. I know who you
The first games I ever played were
I can only
Tomb Raider 3 on the PS1, and Spyro 3, and then I eventually played Tomb Raider 2 and 1 and all that, and all the other Spyros, but
You don't have to live like this anymore.
I'm talking over the cutscenes because it is quite stock standard. You're not missing anything, but... yeah, I played Tomb Raider 3 on PS1, and I enjoyed the game back then, but I really it just didn't suit the console. Even back then, when I was all against like playing PC games, there was something about it on the PS1 that it just didn't feel like. It's like it wasn't designed for the PlayStation. It really was more designed for the PC in mind, and the controls make so much more sense. And just navigating and everything, and I used to hate the controls back then on the PS1, but on the PC I did actually I mean, it's like a rebirth of the controls. It's just, it makes so much more sense. But yeah, it would be great to play Tomb Raider 3. It's a lot more My favorite Tomb Raider is Tomb Raider 2, but... is that it? Did we do it, boys and girls? Lads and lasses, did we actually do it? Didn't we? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Baba Yaga. That is the end of it, I think. I mean, I'm not sure how to... how do I actually check? I mean, there is this whole interface here. Even after completing the game, I still haven't really taken a lot of notice of navigating my way through the interface. Challenges completed, relics, documents. Baba Yaga missions. Yeah, we did it. That is Baba Yaga. And what would I rate this wonderful little DLC? Overall, okay, I think what I'll do to finish this off, before I come back, I mean, there is also another DLC for this game called Blood Ties, which is a very different vibe compared to Baba Yaga. It's you actually explore Croft Manor, and let me go as far as to say I think the new Croft Manor. I think all of the Croft Manors have something great, but the new Croft Manor, I really just love the design of the whole place. It's got this really gothic kind of English feel, and when you actually go to these houses of these former lords and ladies, I've been to a few. Like, I went to one in Norfolk. I used to live in Norfolk, in Norwich. But before that, when I was a kid, I went to, I think it's called, isn't it called something like Oakham Hall or something like that? It's like this country home, and it's got this very similar feeling to Croft Manor, and so basically what I'm saying is all the designs of the Croft Manors over the years have been very true to the English style of I'm guessing it would be the 19th, kind of the 19th century. But yeah, basically the point is I have to do Blood Ties. And I've never actually done Blood Ties, so it gives me something to do on stream, you know, and I kind of feel like, I mean, hold me to this, I think I can pretty much say I'm never going to play Tomb Raider 2013 ever again. I'm so bored of that game. I mean, some of you saw the stream the other day and stuck around. I thought I'd give it a go again. But as I was saying earlier, I just got so bored of that game, and it just, not to be too negative, but it was just so boring. But I do feel like this game was worth playing, and I'm in the mood to be kind of a bit of a completionist with this game. Since I've done the whole story in Extreme Survivor, which you can check out in the videos on my channel. The gameplay is actually quite good. It's not like me fumbling around like this stream. It was actually quite good what I captured. But yeah, I'm kind of in the mood to do Blood Ties next, and if I am really out of ideas, maybe I'll go around and do 100% of this game, but I think mainly just because it is pretty much the only new Tomb Raider game I've actually been really in the mood and really in the mood to play because of how impressed I was with it. I mean, I'm certainly not a there really aren't that many new games that I've been there aren't that many new games I'm that interested in. I've never played Dark Souls, so that's definitely a series I could get into. I've still got to complete Resident Evil 7, which I did as a series on my channel, but I don't really think people on my channel were interested in that game. I was just doing it for myself, really. And to be honest, the game took a, like I was saying earlier, the game took a very, I just lost interest even with that game, with the whole kind of Saw thing, you know, with, it got a bit too much like the Saw films, which, fair enough, when I was 13 or 14 getting drunk or something with friends. Maybe not that early, maybe when I was like 15. It's okay back then. Like now, maybe not so much. I'm not really into that tacky kind of cheesy style of horror, but let's fast travel. Let's go to, let's see. I mean, there's lots of things. This is kind of like my, this could be my stream save. Solemn crevasse. Yeah, this could be like my stream save. I mean, let's see, what was the area I enjoyed the most out of this game? I could actually just go back. I just loved the design of all these places, and there was a person actually on one of my streams, her name was Mariam, who was talking about, when I was streaming the original Tomb Raider 2013, she was saying how that game had barely any variety, and you know, looking back, she was very right about that. It's very boring, because of the lack of okay, so I've 100% completed that. Yeah, there was just a lack of variety, whereas this game, even though you are just basically 90% of the game is in Siberia, there's still a feeling of, there's still a definite feeling of just variety and stuff. Shall we go to Syria? Let's give Syria a go. I'm actually kind of in the mood to just do a bit more of this game. It's been, I was right anyway, it did take 2 hours, so even with all the fucking about around those two challenges, and even with the boss, I still made it in under 2 hours, so that's kind of once again, I apologize for all that. The gameplay was probably god-awful, but hopefully the commentary was at least kind of interesting. So I think there's, yeah, so there's clearly things I have to do here. I'll give it a quick go. If I like get bored of this game, I'll probably just say goodbye and go, but I may as well just give this game a chance and really try to do a bit more of it, since I've done Baba Yaga now. But yeah, I mean, if there's any, if there are any games that you guys want to see, even though there are only a few of you, if there are any games that you guys want to see particularly, just let me know and I'll see if I can get onto it and stream it or something.
Detailed and inlaid with gems. It looks Byzantine, perhaps 10th century. It fits with the legend of the prophet.
One thing me and my girlfriend were kind of talking about, because she played this game as well, was just how epic Camilla Luddington's voice is. I'm actually going to talk about this now. This is the kind of thing I can talk about on stream. Because she's kind of like, what's the best imitation I can do of her? She's kind of like, Trinity, we have to go and get the source. I'm Camilla Luddington. Jacob, I know you're here to, you know, that kind of like really kind of surly, kind of very dramatic English female voice that only really exists amongst academics and that kind of thing. Like, I can't believe you betrayed me, you bitch. My name is Camilla Luddington. And she kind of has this transatlantic thing going on. And She, I've actually watched some interviews with her and everything. We thought maybe she's this really... Yeah, okay, yeah. Thanks again for watching, Danny. Hope you're that sounds pretty rough, man. You better take some rest. Don't go on the booze so much. No, I'm only kidding. Thanks for watching, man. I really appreciate it. I think actually, yeah, no, what I was doing was, I basically got to search for items, but yeah, basically what I was saying about Camilla Luddington, we were basically joking throughout the whole game about, fuck, can I not get across there anymore? Yeah, we were joking about the whole game, saying how she sounds like this classy British woman who's kind of, just very dramatic. But then we watched some interviews of her, and I was kind of teasing my girlfriend, saying like I want to take her out and things. But then we kind of, I really didn't. It was just a joke. But I was saying. But then we actually saw her, and she was in like these track pants, or tracksuit bottoms and things, and like a tank top. And she just kind of seemed like the kind of girl you'd take to McDonald's and buy a milkshake and a burger and just be like, there you go, Camilla love, hope you enjoy your burger. She was just kind of like, she was just a little bit chavvy in real life, so. This really isn't funny whatsoever. If anyone is laughing at this, which I highly doubt it, I'm amazed, because it was kind of just an inside joke between me and a few people, but because the joke became that I wanted to take Camilla Luddington out to McDonald's and buy her a burger, because she was quite chavvy in real life. But even though I wouldn't touch McDonald's with a barge pole, I think I actually have to fast travel. I'm really just rambling at this point. This is like the post-stream ramble. I can't believe I haven't had a drink in like 2 hours, and I'm not actually worn out yet. But yeah, let's have a look here. If we can't get back, because it does kind of look like we can't get back. You know what? I really don't think we can actually get back, so. I don't know whether that would cancel out the finding of other artifacts or anything. I'm guessing not. I mean, there must be, all the artifacts must be here. I mean, I don't think we can. I don't think we can do much else. But I really liked this level. It's all coming back to me now. Let's see. I don't think there was anything down here, was there? No, I don't think there was. I think you can just go straight up there. But yeah, I think since people were mainly interested in seeing Baba Yaga, I'll probably, I don't know, I might end the stream here because people have got things to do with their Saturday, you know. And no, I'm kind of surprised actually that I did it that quickly, but I might just play a bit more and just not talk quite as much, I guess, because I've been talking about all kinds of crap. Exposing myself, exposing my legitimate personality instead of making videos. But I think actually my days of making videos are pretty much gone, because I'm finding streaming a lot more fun. It's just a lot more.
My lord.
I'm finding streaming a lot more fun because you just do it and it's done. You don't need to do any work whatsoever. You know, post recording, and you don't need to like cringe at yourself. Listening back to yourself and everything. Not that I cringe too much, but it's nice to just like talk, like shoot the shit, and then just have it on your channel and just have people watching and actually interact with people. It is a lot more fun, I have to say. It's a lot more fun doing streaming, and it's a lot more, just a lot more can happen basically. That you're not prepared for is actually quite, it just gives it just makes it more interesting, the fact that anything could happen and you've just got to kind of react like, okay, I'm live, I've just got to react to it. But what I would eventually like to do, oh yeah, there's something there as well. That's actually a loot map, fantastic, so I can actually check out the locations, excellent. But yeah, eventually I would like to, like I was saying earlier, one of my big passions is music, so I would like to actually, at some point in the future, I will definitely create a Bandcamp, and I'll definitely link it to my account or something, so that's just another example of some content which I could create. But I think the days of being a serious, of taking YouTube seriously are over. They really are. I think this whole streaming thing, where you know, people are really getting more into streaming these days, and it's just a lot more interesting and a lot more real, and it just doesn't feel as fake, and you don't need to take it as seriously and that kind of thing. That's what I love about it. So really you could, I mean, I think the best possible thing to do.
This one is simple and handmade. Prophet must have drawn followers from every walk of life.
But yeah, what I was saying was, I think the best policy for this kind of thing is just do things that are fun. You know, don't think about them. Just, if you're in the mood to do it, just do it. Don't really plan it. That's what I've been telling other people, so I guess I should probably follow my own advice. But I might just see, what I might do is I might see, I know not as many people as are watching as when I was going through Baba Yaga, but for the sake of just having some fun, you know, I think I'm going to just, I might see if I can just complete this this level 100%, because it is a very interesting level. The first time I saw this, I was very reminded of Tomb Raider Legend, and of course Uncharted as well, even though I've not played that game. But okay, so there are Hang 'em High. That was of course the name of the level in Crash Bandicoot 3, my favorite Crash Bandicoots. What percentage are we on now? 80% complete. So yeah, I might as well just complete this 100%, since this is such a minuscule level in many ways. I'll just do this, and maybe I'll actually just do this on stream just for the hell of it.
My lord.
I'll tell you what I actually didn't ever try out. The sniper. Should probably give that a go at some point. Let's have a look. So I must be like 90% done now. So yeah, there's something there, of course, and yeah, I guess if I complete this, if I complete Syria 100%, then at least we end on a high note. But yeah, I think revisiting this game could be the way to go. if I'm out of ideas. Okay, so there's nothing there, of course. There's actually a fire campsite there. I didn't know that. I did not know that. And okay, there's nothing there. I've got a feeling the next bit will be up here. I've got a sneaking suspicion. Possibly even up there, but I mean, I guess I have to... Yeah, 90% complete like I thought. So yeah, there's bound to be like one or two other things, and then I can leave, then I can go about my way. Let's see, I don't know if I don't think I have to complete this again. There's probably, yeah, there must be, of course, a, I can see it already, it's over there. I think I have to shoot down one or two more things. Probably one, or is it just one more thing? Challenge is complete. Can I have a look at that? Okay, so there's, yeah. I probably just have to shoot down two more of those, and then that'll be it. That'll actually be this level done. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. Okay, so we've got one more, and then I shall end the stream, definitely. I feel like it's been a successful stream anyway. What I have to do now is, I think I have to clamber my way around. I think, how do you do that? God. Do you have to maybe go around? You could have to go, yeah, I think I have to go around here, actually. Like so. No. Fuck. I don't think there's... No, there's nothing there. Fuck. How do I do this? I guarantee there's something up there. And I think there's... Okay, there we go, yeah. I keep forgetting I've got that contraption. I could probably wing it. Yeah, like that. I think this will be the end. There's bound to be something up here. It's quite golden, isn't it? No, there's bound to be something here. There has to be. Maybe I have to go down. No. I have to go around there somehow. I'm just not sure how. Although I think I figured it out. Fuck. Yeah, no, I think I have to use the climbing tool actually. Like so. So if I jump up like... Although it is quite bizarre how that's not working. No, there's got to be a way. I think I have to like jump up or something, like here or something. But yeah, at least it is a challenge, and like a lot of this game, I guess. But no, I'm fairly sure I have to go up here like so, and do something. It has to be on the rooftop. I could probably even actually do this. I hate to do this kind of thing because it is kind of glitching, obviously. God, how could I do this? I can't remember how you actually get up there. Can you even get up there? That's the question. Because the thing is, it does look like you can get around. That does look like a Okay, yeah, I did it, yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't know how you're supposed to do that. I just... Sometimes glitching is just the way to go. The way she goes, boys. But yeah, it was there anyway, that's typical. Right there, yeah. How did I miss that? At least I had some fun. That's really the... So the irony is I actually have to go back down. Do you know what I might try out? I might just try out... I quite liked how the dives were still intact from the older games. I like that. But yeah, this will probably mark the end of this stream. So yeah, thank you for everyone who is watching, and I hope you had a fucking good time. That's the point. 2,000 credits earned. Excellent. So I think that was the entirety of Syria. Yeah, 100% complete. So, although that was quite an easy one, but I mean, I guess the thing about Tomb Raider is it's set up, Rise of the Tomb Raider, should I say? It's set up in this way so that you kind of skim through the game the first time you're doing it, and then there is backtracking if you're interested, to those people who are interested. But I might come back another time and just like do each bit, like try to get it 100%. Like I might just do Siberian Wilderness next time and Glacial Cavern or something, just for fun, that kind of thing. But I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this stream, and that pretty much wraps up for today. So yeah, have a good Saturday, and yeah, until next time, goodbye.